Hey everybody, I hope you're having a great day today. This is going to be an unbelievable episode. Am I the a-hole for announcing my sister's pregnancy after finding out that my boyfriend, now ex, is the father? No! I, 19 female, was with my ex-boyfriend, 19 male, until a couple of weeks ago, when I found out that he got my sister, 18 female, pregnant. I heard them talking about it and my sister was freaking out over it because she knew that I'd be done with her if I found out, and my ex didn't care. So I held it all in and I waited until we were with our family and I announced the news to everybody there. My boyfriend ran once he realized I was going to break up with him, and my sister freaked out and broke down and started begging me not to hate her, saying that she made a mistake and she would abort the pregnancy and we could go back to the way that we were. She'd been living with me since April because her and our parents were not getting along. We were supposed to be moving somewhere bigger in a few weeks and I told her that was not happening anymore, and since that day I've been staying at my friend's place. Now she can't afford to live in the apartment without me, and I refuse to live with her again or have a relationship with her, and my parents won't let her move back in either. My ex is gone and he's refusing to have anything to do with the mess that he's equally responsible for, and so she's on her own. She was trying to make amends so that we'd be back to normal, but I didn't even acknowledge her attempts. I'm not sure where she's staying, but one of her aunts told me that I was disgusting to do that to somebody as young as her and that I've ruined her life. You've ruined her life, have you? Oh my god, what? Why does this happen in every story that we read? Like, there's always somebody blaming the wrong person. One of our aunts told me that I was disgusting to do that to somebody as young as her and that I've ruined her life. How did you ruin her life when it was her own actions? I told my aunt to pick up the pieces and to leave me alone because I don't care anymore. I said that she had it coming when she started sleeping with my ex. My aunt said that letting a guy come between us was nasty business, and then she asked me if I could live with myself if she ends up having the baby and they end up on the streets. Oh, the audacity of your aunt. I told her it's nothing to do with me. Am I the a-hole? Of course not. The top comment says, I don't think people realize how brutal it is to be cheated on with a sibling. She ruined her own life the second that she decided to sleep with your boyfriend and try to hide it. She knew exactly what she was doing and chose to gamble with your trust. You don't owe her a roof or forgiveness or a relationship. And OP said people really don't get it as much as they should. Anybody with siblings should put themselves in the shoes of the person cheated on and see if they'd still love and care about their sibling. Yeah, OP goes through this nightmare of a situation, and OP's aunt is telling OP that they're disgusting for this and that OP's ruined her life. The audacity. The second top comment says definitely not the a-hole, and letting her back into your life is like asking for it to happen again. Or worse, saying that it's alright what they did. Do you, boo, and let her figure it out. Yeah, and OP said that's how I feel. Like, why should she be let off the hook for what she did? She made her own choices. Yeah, for sure, actions have consequences. The comment below that says not the a-hole. She can live with your aunt and her husband. Yeah, see how she likes it. You didn't go no contact and for all intents and purposes no longer have a sister because of a cry. You did it because she betrayed you. Yeah, she made her bed, she can lie in it, and your ex is spineless trash. Make sure everybody knows what they did. Go no contact with your aunt as well. Make sure you pack up and move all of your things out before your sister steals from you. And OP said they're already moved out. I got back there before she could, and I made sure she wasn't doing anything that she shouldn't. I don't have a lot of stuff right now, which helped a ton. What an awful situation. And all the best to OP. Okay, moving on to post number 2. Am I the a-hole for forcing my in-laws to use the toilet instead of piss jugs in my home? Oh my. My in-laws are visiting my wife and I this week. Their trip was short notice, so they'll be staying at our home. Our guest bedroom that they'll be staying in is in the basement of our house. It's spacious, clean and dry. The only issue is that it doesn't have a bathroom associated with it. You have to walk up the basement stairs and halfway across the house to get to our guest bathroom. Before arriving, my in-laws were complaining that it was too far to walk to get to the bathroom from the basement. We're offering them free lodging, so I figured that they would just have to deal with it. However, yesterday we got an unexpected Amazon package. My wife opened it and pulled out a strange plastic container. I joked that it looked like one of those medical device piss jugs. The joke was on me because it was exactly that. My in-laws ordered a device for them to urinate into instead of going to the bathroom upstairs. I told my wife absolutely not. and that they had to use a toilet. My in-laws are very healthy and able-bodied people, and there's zero reason, besides laziness, for them to use a device like this. My in-laws arrived later yesterday night and we confronted them about their plan to pee in the jug. They joked about the device and asked what else were they supposed to do? Use a litter box? No! Go upstairs and use the goddamn toilet. Now they're complaining about having to go all the way upstairs, and I'm pretty sure they're secretly using the pee jug. I'm gonna flip if I find out that they're using it down there. Am I the a-hole for asking them to use a toilet like a normal human being? Edit, since a lot of people are asking, no, they don't have any health issues. They're very fit and healthy. We have an open enough relationship that they would tell us if they did. We also offered them to stay upstairs, but the rooms upstairs are more cramped and they're not as spacious. They opted to stay in the basement room. The top comment says, not the a-hole, this isn't even a discussion. They can use a toilet or get out of your house. The second top comment says, spoiler alert, if they have it in the basement, they're already using it. The comment below that says, not the a-hole, it sounds like they'd be better suited to stay in a hotel. There's a comment that's asking, do either of the in-laws have mobility or blood pressure or prostate issues? And OP responded, no, they're very healthy and they're in their early 60s. They love to exercise. We go on regular hikes and other strenuous activities with them. They themselves have admitted that they can easily make the trip upstairs. They just don't want to. Yeah, and also on top of that, OP did offer them the room upstairs, but they chose the basement. OP said, we also offered for them to stay upstairs, but the rooms upstairs are more cramped and they're not so spacious, and they opted to stay in the basement room. Yeah, definitely a not the a-hole consensus. This room that I'm in at the moment isn't attached to a house. Actually, that's a good opportunity to tell you some exciting news. I'm in the starting process of building a house, and I'm so unbelievably excited, and I'm gonna have such a cool office to make videos. I'm so excited. It's a very slow process, but I'll keep you updated. So yeah, this place at the moment's not my house. But yeah, anyway, this is like a bit of a granny flat sort of situation, kind of. It's like a single room. There's no bathroom in here. I think it's a garage that got turned into like a bedroom. But yeah, we're in here with the cats like all the time. But anyway, we have to go into the house to go to the toilet, and it's a bit annoying, but it's not that bad. OP's in-laws are only visiting for the week. Okay, moving on to post number 3. Am I the a-hole for putting my hand over my sister-in-law's camera at my own birthday dinner after I told her no filming? I, 29 female, had a small birthday dinner last weekend with my husband, 31 male, sister-in-law Lena, 27 female, mother-in-law and 2 friends at a normal but nice place. Lena's a quote-unquote influencer. She films literally everything. Plates and forks and people breathing. 3 days before, I wrote in the family chat, please don't film me. The food, the room is fine, just not my face. She said, quote-unquote, got you. We sit down and within like 10 minutes her phone is up. I say, quiet, please don't point it at me. And she goes, you look great, it's just vibes. My husband backs me. She said no. Lena rolls her eyes and lowers it for maybe 2 minutes. Then the cake comes out, a little sparkler and the staff are singing. Lena stands and points the camera right in my face, like birthday girl reveal. I put my hand over the lens and I said stop. I didn't grab the phone or touch her, I just covered the camera for a second. She snaps that I ruined her shot and that this is her job. Mother-in-law says to let it go for one night. I said that it's my night actually. Yeah. It got awkward fast, the surfer was right there and I felt embarrassed. Husband tried to change the subject but Lena kept on muttering about how she had to scrap everything. The audacity of Lena is out of control. Oh, this one's annoying. I even paid for my own dessert, long story, and we left pretty quick. Next morning, Lena texted that I humiliated her and I made her look unprofessional in front of everybody. Wow. Mother-in-law says that I should have moved seats if I didn't want to be in the frame. Husband says that my boundary's fair, but maybe I made a scene by doing it during the song when eyes were already on me. She's posted me before without asking, and co-workers mentioned it. I've asked her to blur or remove, and it turns into drama, which is why I set the boundary in writing before dinner. Why I might be the gay hole. Public space, I did physically block her shot, and yeah, it was during the song. I could have stood away and turned away or something, but also I don't want to be online against my will, especially on my birthday. I don't know, am I the a-hole? And also, how many bloody times do you have to ask her not to film? Like, how rude. Oh, you made me look unprofessional. You're at OP's birthday dinner. It's not about you being professional. So self-centered. No, you're not the a-hole, OP. Like, oh, they repeatedly asked me not to film them, but I filmed them anyway. Why are they getting annoyed at me? The top comment says Lena texted that I humiliated her and made her look unprofessional in front of everybody. No, she made herself look unprofessional in front of everybody by behaving unprofessionally in front of everybody. Honestly, I would not invite her to things you host going forward until she can respect even the most simple request. Don't film me, not the a-hole. Yeah, the audacity. Oh, it's so annoying. The second top comment says not the a-hole. If she wants to look professional in public, she should act like a professional in public. A professional respects other people and their space and their privacy. Yeah. A professional knows how to separate their job and their personal life when needed. Yeah. A professional isn't so desperate for content that she'll railroad other people's comfort and wishes. Is she really 27 or is she 17? And you're not part of her job. She doesn't get to commandeer you as a prop for her videos, and she doesn't get to seize control over your own goddamn birthday event for it either. Yeah, she was acting like it was all about her. Yeah, so rude and so disrespectful. That is so annoying. You made me look unprofessional. First of all, since when was the night about you? Nobody wanted you to be professional and film everything. They actually asked you not to multiple times, but you ignored them. And second of all, she made herself look unprofessional. She snapped that I ruined her shot and that this is her job. Bye, leave. So disrespectful. Moving on. The next one says, my husband wanted a divorce until he lost his job. Am I the a-hole to follow through with filing? My husband, 34 male, and I, 38 female, have been married for 6 years and together for 9. We've had our ups and downs, but the biggest down is how he speaks to me. I just had our son 1 year ago. When I was 10 months postpartum, he was telling me that I'm fat and lazy, and all I do is take care of the baby and work. Okay, so you should never talk to your partner like this. As I still had baby weight on navigating new routines and work and caring for our baby and 4 other children while working 40 hours a week. On my birthday, he demanded I not leave the house or he would divorce me. Divorce him immediately. Just so happened that my daughter had an appointment at UCLA for her teeth the morning of my birthday, so I took her. Needless to say that he didn't even say hello to me and slept in his game room. He's been sleeping there since. It's been 2 months. He told everyone he was divorcing me and spoke to an attorney and everything before even telling me that he wanted a divorce. He told me that I was not the prize. I'm almost 40 and I have 4 kids, 3 who are minors. He said he's the prize. Oh yeah, everybody wants a partner who's awful to them. He's in his prime and he makes good money. Yeah, but that doesn't make up for being awful. And any woman would love to be in my shoes and take care of his kids. Nah. He even went as far as inviting his baby mother into the house to visit while I was out. Fast forward, he loses his job. And now he's telling me to wait to move. I smell something. Is that karma? He then starts talking nicer to me and acting different than before. I told him I was still moving out and going forward with separating because his actions don't align with somebody who wanted to be with me. It feels more like I'm his only option at the moment. Now he's going around saying that I'm a gold digger and I leave as soon as he loses his job. Wow. He's saying that he wanted to try to make it work, but I'm the one choosing to leave to all of his family and friends. So am I the a-hole for following through with what he initiated, even after he lost his job? Of course not. Get out of there, OP. Staying with him's not an option. The top comment says he's realizing that nobody wants an unemployed jackass who verbally abuses his postpartum wife. Leave him and focus on creating a healthy life for yourself and your kids, without his toxic behavior dragging you down. And the response says exactly. He's only trying to save face now. She's already been through so much postpartum, a new baby, 4 kids, work, and his verbal abuse isn't acceptable. Leaving him is the right move for her and the kids. It's the only option. Yeah, like this comment says, so he's still bad-mouthing you and being an a-hole. Yes, so bad. Jin, what are you doing, buddy? I'm out of here, he says. Treating your partner like crap and then being like, you're not the prize, I'm the prize. Like what, dude? This comment says, walk away, he ain't worth the aggravation. Yeah, get out of there for sure, OP. And all the best to OP. The next one, am I the a-hole for not changing my daughter's wedding venue? Even though my sister's husband proposed to his 22-year-old mistress there last month, I, 51 female, put down a $20,000 non-refundable deposit on this gorgeous beachfront estate for my daughter, let's call her Amy's 26 female wedding next September. We booked it 18 months out. For context and without revealing too much, it's the venue in our area, and it's been Amy's dream wedding spot in all of her Pinterest boards. Last month, my sister, let's call her Carol 53 female, found out that her cheating ex-husband, let's call him Mark 55 male, proposed to his co-worker 28 female. She was 22 when they started having an affair, who he'd been having an affair with. The woman posted engagement photos from the same venue, specifically the beautiful beach area where Amy plans to have her ceremony. Carol's obviously destroyed. She called me sobbing and begging me to change venues. She says that she can't watch Amy get married where Mark proposed to a girl younger than his own daughter. Can't smile for photos on that beach. I feel sick for her, I do, but $20,000 non-refundable deposit. Say if the dates have already been sent. Amy's been dreaming of this venue since high school. Everything else is booked or it's 3 times the price. I told Carol that I can't lose 20 grand and crush Amy's dreams because Mark's trash. Carol says that I'm choosing money over her mental health, that I'm forcing her to relive the worst betrayal of her life for pretty pictures. I also talked to Amy about it and she does not want a venue change. That it's not her fault that Mark, who's been out of all of our lives for the past 5 years, ruined that place for Carol. Carol called Amy a spoiled brat who wouldn't understand real pain. Now Carol's skipping Thanksgiving. My and Carol's side of the family, her daughters and to some extent my parents, say that I'm heartless. The place is cursed anyway. Why should we host Amy's big day there? My husband's side of the family says Carol doesn't get to hijack Amy's wedding because her husband's a cheater. Am I the a-hole for not switching venues? The top comment says who's been out of all of our lives for 5 years. Carol has had 5 years. It's sad that the wounds are fresh and deep, but it's not your daughter's issue to repair, not the a-hole. OP's got a comment that says, update, Carol is willing to pay Amy the 20 grand non-refundable deposit, essentially paying Amy not to host her wedding at that venue. I'm guessing Carol would be using her alimony money for this. Amy is deeply unhappy with Carol. To her, even with the 20 grand being covered, finding a new venue and reorganizing everything would be a huge hassle. I'm on Team Amy, but I feel like I'm losing half of my family over this. And also timeline clarification. I booked and paid a $20,000 non-refundable deposit for Amy's dream wedding venue 18 months ago. Carol's ex-husband had an affair with a woman who was 22 when it started 5 years ago, now 28. He just proposed to the mistress a month ago at this same unfortunate venue. OP's also got this comment. If it's helpful, here was her first and only love. Married for 28 years before they divorced 5 years ago. Okay, so 5 years ago they got a divorce. The second top comment says, info just to be clear on the timeline here. You say Mark is the ex-husband and he's been out of all of our lives for the past 5 years. So they divorced 5 years ago. And Mark proposed last month? Sorry, Carol, but if you've been divorced for 5 years, you need to not give a fuck about what he's doing now. Why was Carol even checking the mistress's posts? And a response says OP specified in a comment that Carol found out about the affair and split from Mark 5 years ago. And then Carol saw Mark's engagement pictures and announcement last month. Yeah, not the a-hole OP, and it's definitely a not the a-hole consensus. Yeah, I feel like OP's daughter Amy's right, where it said, I also talked to Amy about it and she does not want to change the venue. Said that it's not her fault that Mark, who's been out of our life for 5 years, ruined that place for Carol. Carol called Amy a spoiled brat who wouldn't understand real pain. Yeah, very much a not the a-hole consensus. Okay, the next one that we're gonna read, and by the way, I hope you're enjoying the episode. It's been a wild episode so far. The next one says, am I the a-hole for not allowing my daughter to wear her late mum's wedding dress, even though I let my other daughter wear it? I'll try to be as clear as possible. I have 4 kids. This is about my middle child, Abby, fake name. Abby was an addict. She went off to college and came back in the first semester an addict. Soon after, she dropped out of college and got much worse. My late wife and I tried to get her into rehab, but she would just run the first day. Her relationship with the rest of the family deteriorated very fast, and she was soon kicked out of our homes permanently when she was 20. My wife soon got cancer and we stopped giving money altogether to Abby because it needed to go to the treatment. Abby broke into our home and ransacked it. This included heirloom pieces that were passed on from my wife's mother. She also left our doors open and our 2 cats escaped, and we never found them. No. This broke my wife and she started to go downhill after. My wife made it clear that Abby has gotten her inheritance already and that she wants nothing else to go to her. She was very clear not to allow her to have anything else or borrow anything. My wife passed away and Abby didn't come to the funeral. Abby's now 26 and been clean for a year. She's planning on getting married next year. She called me and asked if she could use Mum's wedding dress, and I told her no. This started an argument about how it's unfair because my oldest daughter did wear it last year. Abby was not invited to the wedding. She claims that it's unfair and that she was her mother too. I informed her that she already got many things from her mother and pawned them off for money. I need an outside opinion. I can't go to family because everybody has strong opinions about Abby. The top comment says, tell her exactly what her mum said about not wanting her to have or borrow any things. Tell her that sobriety includes making amends and facing and accepting consequences from her past actions. Be very clear that you will follow your wife's wishes precisely. That you're so glad that she is clean, you hope that she continues with her sobriety, and that you will not shield her from the consequences of her past actions. And the response says, also please hide the dress. Keep it safe somewhere far away from your house, OP. You never know what she might stoop down to. She's done it once and she might do it again, and sorry for your loss, stay strong. The comment below that says, not the a-hole, what has she done to earn back any form of trust? Yeah, she's sober, but sobriety doesn't mean that your relationship goes back to how it was. She robbed you straight up. She stole several items with huge sentimental value from her mother. Why trust her with one of the few things you have left to share with her siblings? Don't let her have the dress. I doubt she would do anything to it. I don't believe her to be evil, but it's the principle. She doesn't deserve to wear something of such importance to your family. And OP responded, she did send out apology letters. I don't know how to feel about mine since it wasn't the best apology. I'm low contact and I see her like every 6 months, so I am trying to build up a relationship again, but it's hard. I don't trust her at all. If she wasn't my kid, I 100% would not speak to her again. Yeah, definitely not the a-hole consensus in the comments. The comment below that comment says, not the a-hole, your wife said no, and it's her dress. The comment below that says, not the a-hole, ransacking your house, effectively killing your cats, and accelerating the death of her own mother. That was unfair. This is the consequence of her actions. And the one under that says, not the a-hole, your wife was clear. Abby can buy her own dress. The next one that we're going to read, am I the a-hole for walking out of my in-laws with my daughter and leaving my husband behind because they all ganged up on me to name our son one of the family names? My husband, 32 male, and I, 31 female, have been married for 5 years. We have a 2-year-old daughter together and I'm expecting our son in a few months. When we met, he told me that there were some family names for the boys that everybody was encouraged to use, and he didn't want to. I told him that I hated the idea of being obligated to name my kids after other people, so that worked for me. He mostly goes by his middle name too because he felt like it allowed him his own identity instead of being another Tim in the family. We had no issues naming our daughter a non-family name, but a few weeks after we found out that we were having a boy this time, and we had started making a list of names that we liked, he started switching things up on me and saying that we should pick one of the 3 family names. I told him that I wasn't okay with that, and he was like, come on, it's not a big deal. And even if you don't like them, it makes everybody else happy. What, dude? I asked him why the sudden switch up, and he said it was to make his family happy. And I asked him, was he willing to do that at the expense of me being unhappy? And he said no. But then he asked what we could pair those names with to make it okay, and he started suggesting middle names for those 3 as first names to try and change my mind. This continued for weeks, and I told him that we needed a break from baby names before we started outright fighting over this. He apologized and agreed to stopping the name talk for a few weeks. When we went back to it, he started suggesting names for our list that I thought were awful and would never use. They were so unlike the names already on our list, and then he was like, the family names aren't so bad now, and I said the answer to them was still no. I suggested we could use them as middle names if he really wanted to, and he said we could easily use a name that we love as a middle name and use the family names first. Then we were at his family's house a couple of weekends ago to celebrate his niece's birthday. It was a low-key thing and just dinner, but it turned into everybody ganging up on me and asking me why I was against the family names, and could I honestly think of better names. I was told that the names that we liked were just okay, and some were downright awful. Hey family, is this your child? No, it's not, and it's not up to you to name them. Oh, the audacity of that is so annoying. But these 3 family names were amazing and fabulous and full of charm and other compliments that I felt went a bit over the top, with how much emphasis was put on them basically being the 3 best boy names to ever exist. My husband was joining in with them, and I was being told that I acted like giving birth made me the more important parent, and how it should matter what they and my husband want. Oh, this is terrible. Naming a child is up to the parents of the child. And that's it. What is your husband doing, OP? That I can suck it up and deal with it to make him and them happy. Oh, they're awful. How, as this is a boy, he should get priority in naming him, and that I'm so selfish for trying to break this wonderful family tradition. Oh my god, could they get any more insufferable? OP's selfish for wanting to name their own child? I'd be running in the opposite direction if I were you, OP. By that point, I was done, and I took my daughter and I went home, leaving my husband there. He was upset when he got home and asked why I left him behind and why I stormed out like that in the first place. I told him that they all ganged up on me, and so why would I stay? And I told him he wasn't being a very good or supportive husband right now, and that I wasn't in the mood to act like things were perfectly fine. He apologized since, but his family is saying that I made him apologize when he didn't need to, and I acted childishly, and I'm blowing things up over a name which seems unfair. They even said it's not like it's a single name because I have 3 to choose from, which is better than some families offer. What the hell do they mean it's better than some families offer? It's not up to them to name the child. The whole family has lost their mind. I feel like they make it sound worse and worse to me, like there's rules around naming babies or something. My husband and I are still working through stuff. But am I the a-hole? No, definitely not. Oh, that is so unbelievably frustrating. The top comment says, not the a-hole. I hate partners who, when they get married, don't understand that they've already started a separate family and that they must take care of it and prioritize it and protect it. The second top comment says, not the a-hole, not at all. His family gets no say in what the 2 of you name your child. Also, let everybody know that you will not use one of the family names, and that anybody who keeps on pushing will not be in contact with your children. This is an insane level of interference. Yeah, this is infuriating. The husband's family is icky. Like beyond icky. Like run in the opposite direction icky. Your husband needs to get it together quick, OP. The comment below that says, you know your marriage is in serious trouble, right? Your husband does not care about your feelings, refuses to take no for an answer, enlisted his family to verbally abuse you into submission, has no respect for you, knows that you're pregnant and does not care about the stress that is putting on you and the baby, stress that can literally cause pregnancy complications. He does not care that he's ruining your memories of your pregnancy, and he won't stop the relentless family attacks on you. He's a bad guy here. His family treats you like this because he allows it. They know that they have his permission. If they thought that he would make them face consequences, they would stop. At this point, I would not trust him to be at the hospital because he may fill out the birth certificate while you're asleep. If you give the baby one of those 3 names, you'll forever resent it. You're not the a-hole, but you need to take a long, hard look at this man and your marriage. Would you want a man treating your daughter this way? Would you want your sons treating another woman this way? He needs to put boundaries in with them. Like, stuff like this isn't gonna get better. He needs to get it together really fast. And yeah, like that other comment said, his family has absolutely no say at all in what you name your child. The entitlement is out of control. And the bit where it says they even said it's not like it's a single name because I have 3 to choose from, which is better than some families offer. The audacity of even that statement right there, it's better than some families offer. You think it's up to you, do ya? Oh, it's infuriating. And yeah, like the other comment said, your husband is letting it happen. He's not being a supportive husband at all. The next one says, am I the a-hole for banning my wife's Disney divorce friends plugins from our house? My wife's friend Melissa, 49 female, is staying with us for a few weeks while she sorts her life out. We have a large home and we're very happy to have house guests. She's leaving her husband after 25 years of marriage because she wants to move to LA and work at Disneyland. This sounds like like the plot of a bad sitcom, but I'm afraid it's real. Both she and her husband are equally culpable for the failure of their marriage and really bring out the worst in each other. Their relationship has been in a state for as long as I've known them. The problem is Melissa showed up with an arsenal of room scents and sprays and plug-ins. The smell, teenage girl with the side of forever chemicals, ode to Disneyland, has completely taken over the hallway, the family bathroom, my office, and even 2 flights of stairs into the foyer drawing room and living room. It's strong and nasty, and it's made of and smells like all the chemicals that we avoid. Sidebar, we've been cleansing ourselves of chemical nasties and have curated our home to smell clean and subtle. It's part of what makes it feel like home. Now it just smells like teen spirit. Melissa is genuinely lovely and in a vulnerable spot, and I don't want to make her feel unwelcome. But it's our house, and this is something that we've been intentional about. However, outside of our personal feelings about plug-ins, it feels really out there to rock up into somebody else's home and decide to bring your own plug-in scents to totally change the smell of the house. I mentioned how strong the smell was, assuming that it was a room spray, and how it was overtaking every room. She said, yeah, the plug-ins are pretty strong. I was so shocked I asked her to remove them. I opened up with a sensitive ask, hey, those room sprays are pretty strong. Would you mind keeping the door closed if you're using them? And spiraled a bit when I heard her say plug-ins, plural. My wife told me that I was being an a-hole for making her feel uncomfortable when she is going through a lot, and that I could complain to her about it, but it was over the line to ask her to stop. I was incredulous that she thought it was okay to change the scent of our house. Am I the a-hole here like my wife says? I feel pretty justified in my complaint. Edit to address the frequently asked questions. The plugins are already gone. The conversation pivoted from could you please keep the door closed when you spray the room to can you please remove the plugins. She apologized and removed them immediately. I also spotted after writing this post that the intake vent for the central air was about 12 feet from where one of the plugins was. This explains how the whole house got gunked up so quick. The smell still hasn't gone 24 hours later. In the part of the conversation where the plugins were revealed, my wife informs me that my facial expressions were all over the place, a mix of shock and disgust. I maintained a friendly but firm tone when I asked her to remove them. I explained my reasoning clearly. I capped the conversation by saying that I hated the smell of them, which was unkind and deeply unhelpful. In my defense, I genuinely do hate the smell, and I was so thoroughly flabbergasted that an adult would think it's okay to do that I made an unguarded comment. Okay, so the top comment says not the a-hole. She's making you uncomfortable in your home. The second top comment says not the a-hole. Most plugins give me a massive headache. And OP said same, and I need to be able to focus in my office to keep my job that pays for the house that you're staying in. And the comment below that says she didn't ask anybody, not your wife either. If so, not the a-hole. And OP said no, she just set them up day one, as if this was a perfectly normal thing to do. Yeah, from what I can see here, yeah, definitely a not the a-hole consensus. The next one, am I the a-hole for not cancelling plans to be there for the birth of a friend's baby? And friends is in quotation marks. So, I, 27 female, reconnected with a childhood acquaintance, 29 female, recently when she moved to my city. My dad and her mum used to work together. We weren't close growing up, but when she moved to my city around 5 months pregnant, she reached out. I know how lonely it can be to move somewhere new, so I agreed to hang out and I tried to help her settle in. When I moved here, I didn't know anybody either, and now I'm the only one that she knows. At first it was fine. I did little things like I drove her to look at apartments. She didn't have a car. I helped her run errands, and my dad even built her furniture when she got an apartment. My dad came to visit me for the weekend and we spent it helping her settle in. She has no support system. The baby's dad is out of the picture and she's unemployed. I'm not sure how she's funding everything. I genuinely wanted to be kind and supportive. I even introduced her to some of my friends and she was so rude to them and then wouldn't stop talking poorly about them. But then things escalated. She started demanding I go with her everywhere. Doctor's appointments, grocery shopping, even to do nails. She started jokingly calling the baby our baby because I've been around so much. She'll say stuff like, our baby's craving fries from McDonald's, and then beg me to get them for her. She even offers to pay me. She refuses to use meal delivery apps because she doesn't trust that they won't do something to the food. And this has been going on for months. Fast forward, I'm a bridesmaid in my best friend's wedding and flying home to Puerto Rico for 4 weeks to help with the shower and rehearsal and wedding, and even organising her closet in her husband's apartment while she's on her honeymoon. In brackets, they don't live live together until after the wedding. When my acquaintance came over and saw me packing, she lost it. She said I never told her about my trip. She said she was counting on me to be there for the birth, which will definitely happen while I'm away. I leave tomorrow and she's ready to pop any minute, and even expected me to move in with her for the first month after the baby was born to help out since I have nanny experience. She also told me that she was planning on me watching the baby on the days I work from home, 2 days out of the week. I told her I wasn't cancelling my flight or shortening my trip, and now she's furious, saying that I'm abandoning her and the baby, that I'm all they have. She's posting about me on social media saying that I betrayed her. Her mum, who lives in our state just 4.5 hours away, is commenting and encouraging her. I told my mother about this, and she also said that I was a bad friend to leave her and the baby when they need me, that she agrees that moving in is a lot, but I should be there during birth, only travel for the wedding, and then come back to help with the meals and stuff, and told me that she won't be picking me up at the airport tomorrow because she knows I'll do the right thing. So, am I the a-hole? Oh my god, what? What is your mum talking about? The top comment says, not the a-hole. I could barely make it through this with how awful she sounds. And this isn't even a friend, it's an acquaintance. I can understand why the baby daddy's out of the picture and she has no other support system, to the extent that she's now relying on a childhood acquaintance. I even introduced her to some of my friends and she was so rude to them and then wouldn't stop talking poorly about them. Yeah, not loving that. Trying to trash your friends to convince you to spend more time with her. She refuses to use meal delivery apps because she doesn't trust that they won't do something to the food. Honestly, this whole thing sounds like she's trying to control you and get you to do crap that's totally unnecessary. When my acquaintance came over and saw me packing, she lost it. She said I never told her about my trip. This person is insane. Expected me to move in with her. She also told me that she was planning on me watching the baby on days that I work from home, 2 days out of the week. Run, OP. I would have blocked her as soon as she left. She's posting about me on social media saying that I betrayed her. I try not to throw this word around lightly, but this is a narcissist. My mum told me that she won't be picking me up at the airport tomorrow because she knows that I'll do the right thing. I'm sorry that your mum also appears to have lost her mind. I'm not even joking. I'd block this person and never speak to her again. You've already done too much and she obviously doesn't appreciate it. She was instantly ready to publicly smear you when she didn't get her way. Yeah, of course, once again, definitely a not the a-hole consensus. And what is OP's mum talking about? Okay, the next one that we're gonna read. Am I the a-hole for laughing when my wife fell and pooped her pants? Because I thought it was a prank. I, 33 male, think that my wife, 31 female, is genuinely funny. But her love of pranks and toilet humor can be a bit much. One day I was in the living room. My wife ran in holding her tummy. She slipped and fell. Then said something like, crap, I pooped my pants. Everything about it seemed like a prank that she would do, from the double meaning phrase to the toilet humor to the physical comedy. Despite the fact that I dislike most of her pranks, I found this one funny, but it wasn't pranking. And when I realized I tried to help her up, she told me not to touch her. She sarcastically called me husband of the year for laughing at her. I explained, but she said that I should have known that it wasn't a prank because she did a similar one before, and she doesn't repeat the same pranks. Am I the a-hole? No, I don't think so. That bit at the end there was super interesting. She said that I should have known that it wasn't a prank because she did a similar one before. Well, if anything, the fact that she's done a similar one before is gonna make OP think it is a prank. Like, of course OP thought it was a prank. She's done a similar prank before. The top comment says, haha, not the a-hole. Your wife is just the girl who cried poop. The second top comment says, you should have known that I was telling the truth because I've lied before. Yeah, okay. Not the a-hole. Yeah, like she's done a similar prank before. Of course OP's gonna think that it's a prank. Like, yeah, it's unfortunate, but you can't really blame OP for thinking it was a prank. Also, may I just say, I'm so proud of Jin. He's been here for pretty much the whole episode. He's so beautiful. The comment below that says, not the a-hole, this is what fruit is born of frequent pranks. And as a good partner, you were engaging and supporting her antics. When you realized it was real, you immediately went to help. She's probably mad at herself because she knows that you laughing was essentially her own doing. Okay, the next one. Am I the a-hole for correcting my mother-in-law at a family gathering that she didn't recommend my daughter's name? It was my favorite name. I've been married to my husband for almost 2 years and our daughter is 11 months old. When we found out that we were having a girl, one of the names that was immediately top contender was the name of a character that I really like in a very popular book and movie franchise. My husband is a huge fan of the franchise too, and with time that name just became the only one that I wanted, and we landed on it and then told our parents about it. I remember my mother-in-law questioning whether phonetically there would be an alternative spelling that could cause confusion, and I had said no, it wouldn't, and I had explained to her the subtle difference in pronunciation, and it was a whole conversation that I'd had with her. Last weekend we were at my in-laws' place for dinner. My brother-in-law and sister-in-law were there too, so we were watching my daughter cruising along the room, using the couches as support and looking at us to see if we were looking, and then laughing. My brother-in-law's wife had remarked about how radiant she looked and how she'd really taken to her name literally. My sister-in-law then said that it was a really good choice by my mother-in-law. I was confused and I asked her what she was talking about, and my sister-in-law said that my mother-in-law had been the one to recommend the name. My mother-in-law then said yeah, that she'd said it's a good name. I was literally stunned for a second, and then I made it clear that I'd come up with the name, how I'd known it, and that my husband also knew of the character, and that we were dead set on the name. There were no recommendations to be had. I asked my husband to corroborate the story, which he did, uncomfortably. My mother-in-law said names are a collective family effort, and everybody pitched in, but I still said this name was one that was very dear to me, and it was one that I'd come up with. Maybe I shouldn't have pushed on that a second time. That's why I'm here. When we came home and we were in bed, my husband had been getting texts from his mum and sister. He said I was right in my account of what had happened, but he also told me that I'd been tactless, that we know it was my name, and our daughter has a beautiful name that suits her. Why make it into something that causes bitterness? And today he had a phone call with his mum, just a regular one. I asked if she was still pissed. He said that she was. He said that he understood why I did it, but it wasn't the time and place. Was I the a-hole? Update, my husband came by this on his Reddit feed. FML. He wants to let us know that he never said I was an a-hole. The top comment says he said that he understood why I did it, but it wasn't the time and place. Yeah, did he happen to share with you when would have been a better time to correct your mother-in-law's revisionist history? And why he didn't have a word with her and correct her himself? Big fat not the a-hole. And OP responded no, he didn't say it, but he said that it shouldn't have been clarified in front of an audience. So I'm assuming that he meant when it was just me with mother-in-law. And if she'd said this when we've had moments where it's just the two of us, I would have corrected her then. I didn't enjoy saying it in front of others. It's just that's when it was brought up. The response says baloney. When somebody makes an incorrect assertion, it needs to be cleared up immediately. Obviously she's been pushing the narrative, or your sister-in-law would never have brought it up to begin with. Buy your husband some spray starch for his spine. He needs it. Yeah, and this comment too. She's pissed that she got called out on a stupid lie. Easy solution to that is that she shouldn't have lied. Not the a-hole. The comment below that says not the a-hole. Ouch, you've got a husband problem. Your mother-in-law's the one making up fantasies about how she chose names. You simply told the truth and cleared that nonsense up. It was the time and the place. And the comment below that says perhaps hubby's conversation with mum should have included, if you don't want to get called out on it, don't make crap up. Yeah. Okay, the next one that we're going to read. Am I the a-hole for calling out my cousin when she tried to blame her body odor on me? Wow, okay. I'm 18 female from Ontario, Canada, and my cousin 19 female is from Florida, USA. I'm staying with her family in Florida. We were out at midday at an outdoor restaurant and my cousin's boyfriend, 20 male, was to meet us. My cousin had a sweaty body odor, but she had an active day. The boyfriend kissed my cousin and she introduced us. At the table, he made a face. When I looked away, my cousin tried to whisper to her boyfriend, but I heard her. The smell is from my name. Please don't say anything. I said, the smell's not from me. The boyfriend got his nose close to my cousin's upper body and smelt her. He kissed her on top of her head and told her it's humanizing when such a beautiful woman gets smelly. She laughed all awkwardly. On the ride back home, she told me that I unnecessarily embarrassed her, and she said that I broke the girl code. Am I the a-hole? No, definitely not. The top comment says not the a-hole. She broke the girl code by bringing it up when no one else did. And she made it even worse by pinning it on you. She embarrassed herself. Yeah, that's right. She brought it up and immediately said that it was OP. The second top comment says not the a-hole. She embarrassed herself by lying. The boyfriend seems like a cool guy. And the comment under that one too. How rude of you to climb out from under the bus that she threw you under. Yeah, definitely a not the a-hole consensus. And And that's enough for today. Thank you for watching today's episode, everybody. I hope you had a great time today. That was an absolute adventure. The comment of the day today goes to Somehow Itinerary. Gin is in the basket. I repeat, gin is in the basket. This is not a drill. Yeah, I don't know why, but Gin has been in the basket constantly. I'm so proud of him because he would get in and out of the basket a lot in the past. I'm so proud of him. Okay, I'm out of here. Thank you for the support, everybody. As always, make sure you like and subscribe if you want to, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye!